Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today, we're going to be talking about why are real estate investors losing millions of dollars. So we're going to be talking about that today. Let me get this off the screen. And if you were interested in going to Orlando in January for the Pillars of Prosperity Conference, today is the last day for your to get your early bird ticket for $175. Today is the last day. It was supposed to be yesterday, but I pushed it to today because I could announce it on the show. All right. So today is the last day you can get your early bird ticket. Go to popclive.com. I'll put it in the chat. P.O.P.C.L.I.V.E. Let's see. P.O.P.C.L.I.V.E.com. There we go. All right. So we're also going to put that over here on our YouTube and Facebook. All right, folks, come on in. I need as many people on the stage as possible so that we can talk about this today. Okay. So put over here on the comments. Okay. popclive.com. And get your ticket. Okay, excellent. And we're going to put it as a banner across the screen here. So you can text PILL to 256-215-9496. That's text the word PILL to 256-215-9496. So today's show is on how real estate investors are losing millions, even those who are successful. I'm not talking about people who are unsuccessful. I'm talking about people who are successful each and every day overall. Okay. They're losing money if they are borrowing money from the bank or hard money or whatever they're borrowing at a high interest rate or a low interest rate, doesn't matter. The interest cost on these loans is way too high, and there's something we can do about it to lower the cost of borrowing money. I mean, down to an effective interest rate of around 1% or less. So, folks, there's absolutely no reason, if you're a real estate investor, there's no reason to keep paying that interest just so that your tenants can create equity for you. Yes, the tenants are creating equity for you. They're helping you. But it costs way too much interest to get that equity, and we're going to go over that today. So if you're interested in taking that money and stop giving it to the bank and turning it into millions of dollars, this is the show for you. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off today. I'm excited. I'm excited today. So listen, let's go ahead and start the show. Let's go. All right. Listen, man, we're going to jump right into this thing today. Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 18th. We're almost done with the year. We're going to jump into get a springboard into 2025 with brand new information about how real estate investors can stop losing millions. I mean, they're leaving millions on the table by not understanding how an amortization schedule actually works. Okay. And we are being literally abused by the system, even though we're thinking it is a low interest rate. And so let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of examples. I'm going to put them right on the screen right now. I've got one for $1 million. I've got another one for just $200,000 at 3%. Wait, let's do the 3% one first, okay? We're going to do the 3% one first. Okay, let's put that on the screen. And let's see here. I'm going to change this around, change our overlay. Okay, there we go. All right, so listen, folks, this is a $200,000 mortgage at 3%. It's a 30-year loan. The payment is $843.21. This is what people would love to get. They would love to get this loan. And everybody I know in real estate says this is cheap money. Why do anything to it? Okay, it's 3% money. Is it really? Is it really 3%? So let me talk to you about the when you're closing on this loan and what we're taught to overlook. All right. And so we have a $200,000 mortgage, 3%. Look what we find out at the closing table. If we keep this loan for 30 years, they want us to pay $103,555.60 interest on this loan. What? That's over 50%. All 3% loans, all of them, for 30 years are 51% loans. Look at this. Look at this. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 51.778, almost 52%. Almost 52%. So while everybody else and their brother is trying to tell us that this is a low interest rate, no one but the P.I.L.L. method is telling you it's a high interest cost. Terrence, how are you this morning, sir? Can you talk to us this morning? Are you on the way to work or are you at work? What's up? What's going on? All right, Terrence, jump in there whenever you can. Listen, folks, I need more people on the stage this morning. Alex, come on up. Uriah, come on up.
Can you hear me there?
I can hear you, sir. What's going on?
Okay, good morning to everyone. Yes, I got a little work going on in the background, and plus I'm doing some things too. I'm just listening in to support you like always, Dad.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you this morning because I need some extra energy today. I need extra energy today just so that we can get this thing out, telling the truth about these loans. 51%. So when people tell you why try to do anything to this loan, why prepay or pay the mortgage off, you see, right now people need to stop that brand of thinking. It's not about paying the mortgage off. It's about how can I get my equity at a lower interest cost. Okay, I want to get my equity, but I don't want to pay a lot of interest to get it. Let me show you what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to see this right now. Look at payment number one. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you in detail what banking is doing to real estate investors and residential home buyers. And we're not taught this, what's really going on. The full payment on this, again, is $843. $843.21. Okay. But why is it that once we get that payment and we make that first payment, only $343.21 of it is applied to principal. $500 is applied to interest. I want to talk to you about a term called the rate of change. The rate of change. And in the beginning of this loan, it's a mathematical term, But we want to know, what is the rate of change of how much money goes to principal and how much money goes to interest? I need you to see the first few payments here that go to principal. Watch this. And listen, if you want to know, if you want to see this, you need to go to YouTube and make sure you subscribe so you can see these numbers. Okay. Now, look at the first principal payment, $343.21. And the interest payment is $500. On the very next line, okay, the interest payment goes down to $499.14, and the principal payment goes up to $344.07. The rate of change is so slow. You're paying a 3% loan. You're paying $843.21 on the mortgage. You're charging great rent on this. Okay, so you're cash flowing, and generally that's where the buck stops. Am I cash flowing? But that's not all you need to realize, because as your tenant is giving you rent money, they're giving it to you. You're paying the mortgage, and you have some options here to improve your bottom line, to gain equity faster and cheaper so you can cash out, refi, and do it again. All right. So cash out, refi, so you could do it again. How about doing that 10 to 15 years sooner than normal? 10 to 15 years sooner than normal. That means you can turn that money around sooner. If you can reinvest that money sooner, doesn't that mean you can make more money on your money sooner? And the sooner you start investing the money, okay, the more money you can make over a certain period of time. So it just makes sense. It just makes sense to get the equity cheaper if we can, but and get rid of some of the myths that are surrounding what we're doing as far as real estate investing is concerned. So look at this rate of change from 343.21 in the first month. Look how much goes to principal in the 12th month. It goes from 343 to 352. The interest is $500 in the first month. It is $490.44 in the 12th month, meaning all those months you're paying all of that interest, and it's less than a $10 difference. The rate of change of how much money goes to principal and how much money goes to interest is less than $10 change in the first year. That's a very slow rate of change. This is why people who invest in mortgages love this thing. They love the amortized mortgage. So in the first year, if we add up all the principal payments, it comes to $4,175.62. That's how much equity you've gained in the first year. But look how much interest you've paid, $5,942.90. This is a so-called low interest rate loan, but you're paying $5,942.90 of your money was discounted. Now, somehow we've been taught to think about these loans as there's a mythical place where money goes to principal to pay down the loan, and a different place where interest goes so that the banks can do something so that they can make money. Oh no. When an investor buys this mortgage and you make this mortgage payment, all $843.21 goes to the investor. If you have any experience in seller financing, you're selling it, you're financing it, you know for a fact that you get the entire payment. Okay, but the payment is discounted so that only a portion of that money pays down the loan. The rest of that money is looked at as profit for you, the seller who's financing this loan. So we need to stop thinking about the fact that interest is the cost of doing business. And when we pay the bank all the interest that they're asking for, you're borrowing money at retail when you could borrow it at wholesale. Okay? So watch this. Watch this. If you want to, we're looking at, that is the 300, that is a $200,000 loan. Here's $1 million. Here's one for $1 million. This is a small business loan. Okay, 5% for 300 months, $5,845.90. Look at this. This is a 75% loan, not 5%. The bank wants in total interest on this loan $753,770. $753,000 of your dollars gets discounted from your payments. That is a crying shame when we don't understand what's really going on. We look at the fact that our payment on this mortgage, okay, is $5,845 because it's a multifamily. And we're making a boatload of money on this because we're charging rent at the right price. It is multifamily and we're making money. And as long as we're making money, the $5,845.90 that we're paying each month doesn't even enter our minds. We don't even care about that. Okay. So if we're doing this, we're only out of that money, $1,679.23 pays down the loan. This loan is discounted by over $4,000 every single month for the first few months. Why is it so doggone expensive? I need to dig a little deeper. Okay, let's go back to the $200,000 loan at 3% because it's such a small payment. And let's take a look. Let's do a little math. The first interest payment is $500. Okay, so what we're going to do is show you exactly what's going on and why why investors in mortgages love this thing. They absolutely love it. So let me bring up a calculator and put it on the screen. Okay, there we go. All right, so our total payment is divided into the first interest payment. Okay, our total payment is divided into the first interest payment. So our interest payment is $500 divided by $843.21. Look at that. 59%. 59% of your payment to the bank is discounted. Okay. So 59%. So you're paying the loan down with 41% of your money while the bank gets 59%. Okay. Just for lending you the money. The way that this is set up is so that they can make a lot of money. This is why investors love it. But you do not have to do it this way. You don't. If you knew what was really going on, that your payment is discounted by 59%, do you know that you can turn that around? So Don, how do we save money on this when I've been told that a 3% loan is a great loan, not to do anything with it, and take a great portion of my money that I'm getting and reinvest it in more doors? Okay, I want to make this very clear. If you have set aside a certain amount of money to reinvest in more doors, to grow your portfolio, continue to do it. Continue to do it. Alex, how are you this morning, sir? Okay, maybe you're busy. All right. So listen, come on. I need more people on the stage. I need more people on the stage. And listen, interact whenever you choose to. But 59% of your money being discounted is crazy when we can turn it around. You see, this is nothing but math. And we're referring to the rate of change. How would you like to um, to accelerate the rate of change so that more of your money goes to principal and less gets discounted? It is simple as knowing what to prepay and when. But let me just give you an example of prepayment here. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of prepayment. If I make a payment here in January and I prepay $344.07, I prepay that, okay, in January, I'm paid down to line 2 in January, and line 2 is eliminated from my amortization schedule, and my next mortgage payment is on line 3. So automatically, more money is now going to principal than ordinarily would go. But what did I just find out? This $499 that would have been discounted in February, I don't have to pay. I need you to look at this loan this way. Instead of just looking at the equity you receive, I need you to know how much it costs you to get that equity each and every month. This month, to get $343.21 worth of your equity is going to cost you $500 of the money your tenant gave you. The next month is going to cost you $499. The next month is going to cost you $498.28, $497.42 the next month after that. When you could, let's see how we can prepay $344.07. That's the equity I was going to get anyway. But if I pay it when I choose to pay it, it doesn't cost me $499.14 to get it. In other words, the real estate, the investor that bought this mortgage, okay, who's looking to get $103,555.60 from me, I've just reduced that by $499.14 instantly by paying them the principal when I want instead of when they want. I gave them the money when they weren't expecting it. Therefore, I don't have to give them the interest money or let them discount my payment when they want it to. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay. Do I have any questions or comments about this part? Okay. I need you, if you're new to the room, go to YouTube so you can see this. Now, every single month, the investor is saying, thank you very much. I'm going to discount your payment, okay, so that to totally pay back your loan, it's going to take 360 payments. It's going to take 360 payments because you start out with a rate of change that's so small. I need you to see that the amount of money that's paying down the loan is so small. Let's see how long it takes to pay off half this loan. Okay, you're at $200,000 at 3%. Let's see how long it takes to pay it down to $100,000. I'm going to scroll down to watch the principal payment. Watch this. Principal payment. Oh man, we're still scrolling, trying to get it down to $100,000, doing it the bank's way. Okay. Here we go. All right. Let's take a look at this. 216 over 216 payments. Okay. So we put in 216 divided by 12. That's 18 years. Doing it the bank's way, because the rate of change is so slow, it takes 18 years just to pay off the first half of this loan. And because the rate of change is now starting to increase, it only takes 12 years to pay off the remainder of the loan, the other half. The first year, the first half takes 18 years. Isn't that crazy? Has anybody ever talked to you about this? Why should
crazy?
What did you say? You say, Terrence?
That is stupid crazy.
And the last 12 years, you pay off the other half. What is going on with the rate of change here that it only takes 12 years to pay off the second half? Because the majority of the discounting takes place in the first 18 to 20 years on your mortgage. Okay. What about now? I need you to take a look at this. If it takes 18 years 3 months to get here, 18 years and 3 months to get here, how much interest did it cost us that the tenants gave us? $84,000. At this point, now I'm excluding market conditions. Of course, market conditions are going to help us to increase equity. I'm just talking about getting equity from paying down the loan. Okay. So we paid down the loan by $99,000. Somebody's going to say, Don, but I have $99,907.69 worth of equity. But it cost you 84,000 of your dollars to get it. Do you really have, when you look at it this way, do you really have $99,000 worth of equity here when you subtract out the interest that you paid? How can we get the same $99,000 and only pay about $20,000 in interest? They only get to discount us about $20,000 instead of $84,000. Does that mean now, if you can get discounted $20,000 instead of $84,000, doesn't that mean that $64,000 in interest you did not pay to acquire the same equity? Doesn't it mean that? So why should we put up with this when we don't have to, real estate investors? Because if you give the bank $60,000 you don't have to give them, then that means you can't also invest that same $60,000. It's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. It's gone. Why give it to them when you can give them so much less to get the same equity, and then take the money that you didn't give them in interest, that you gladly signed the loan to get this 3% loan, that you gladly signed this so that you can make money on the front end. But we're told we are conditioned to completely forget about the money on the back end. I think 84 grand is a lot of money. Okay. That's a lot of money to give them. Let me show you what's going on here when we're talking about the rate of change. Let's go back to the first year. This is just a $200,000 loan at 3%. And then we're going to talk about the $1 million loan. Okay. Here's what I need you to see. I need you to look at this and understand what's really going on, real estate investors. If I take a look at the discounted amount in the first year of my loan, all these payments here are considered interest in this column 2. Column 1, all these payments are considered principal payments, paying down the loan. So in the first year, we add up the principal payments is $41.75.62, and the interest is $59.42.90. So this is money your tenants gave you. Let's add it up. $5,000, $5,942.90 discount, plus, clicked the wrong thing, plus 41.75.62, plus 41.75.62. Look at that. That's $10,192 $118.52 that your tenants gave you. And only out of all that money, only $41.75 benefits you. The rest benefits the bank. Out of $10,000, let's put it this way. Listen, I have a great investment. And I'm asking you for 10,000 of your dollars. Give me $10,118.52. And a year from now, I will return to you $4,175.62 only. That's all you get back. You invest 10,000, I pay you back 41.75.62. Would you invest with me? I need to see it in the chat. I need to see it in the comment section. Would you invest with me if I asked you for 10,000 of your dollars, but I gave you back 4,175? I didn't even give you the whole principal back. That's all you get back is 4,175.62. Would you invest with me? Yes or no?
Let's do it.
Come on now, folks. If you would not invest with me this way, why are you investing with the bank this way? Okay. Why are you doing it, real estate investors? Because you could give them so much less. So let's not talk about, if you have any questions about this, I need you to ask it. But if you have some money sitting in the bank account, let's say you have some reserve funds that are just waiting to do repairs and maintenance on your buildings. You have some money in there. And generally it's sitting in a bank account, and sometimes it's sitting in a checking account. And most often it's sitting in a checking account, but sometimes we put it in a savings account, making 1/10%. So we're getting some money. Listen, that doesn't even cover your fees for having the doggone savings account. Doesn't even cover your fees, the amount of the interest that you're making. Okay, so now we have money in there, and it's making $4,000. Okay, I'm sorry, we have over $4,000 in that account. Let's say you borrow some of that money from yourself out of your account. Could you apply that to principal in month one? Take $4,100 out of your savings account, right? It's going to leave you plenty of money to do what you need to do as far as, maintenance. And I'm not talking about depleting your maintenance account. I'm talking about just a small portion. Let's say $4,000 worth, and apply it to this loan. Guess what happens? You're paid down to here in 1 month. It makes it impossible for them to charge you monthly every single month. So if you give them the money this month, in month one, you're paid down to here in month one, and it doesn't cost you $5,942.90 in interest to pay your loan down to $195,824.38. It only costs you $500 in interest to pay your loan down to right here if you choose how to give your money to the bank. So let me ask you, now that you know this, real estate investors, if you're new to the room, go to YouTube so you can watch this. So the link is at the top of the page, okay? The link is at the top of the page. Real estate investors, stop losing millions of dollars, okay? So I can take 4,000 out of the bank that's making 1/10% and apply it to this loan and save myself over $5,000 in interest. I never have to pay the bank. Go to any real estate investing class, go to any RIA, go to any investor group, and I dare you to ask, if I can get $4,000 worth of equity for $500, somebody explain to me why I should ever pay almost $6,000 for the same equity. Can anybody give me a good reason to do this? I'm listening. Open up your mic. Come to the stage, please. If you are watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on, let's see, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on LinkedIn. Okay. I've got a link in here for our studio. You can join us in the studio at the top. Click that link, and you can come into the studio and ask your question live. Okay. I need somebody to help me understand why anyone would say that this is okay, that this is how we should look at our money, because it's a 3% loan.
I'm trying to stay with you, brother, but I'm doing a multitask right now. But go ahead and tell me some reason why, Dad.
I don't listen. I can't think of any. Terrence, I can't think of one. Why anybody would want to do this when they didn't have to.
Right.
I need you to see what's really going on when you have a mortgage. Stop looking at your mortgage as a $200,000 mortgage at 3%. It's not. It's not one mortgage. Every single month you make a payment, you're charged interest on the unpaid balance. Can I show you what they're doing to you? All right. Can I show you what they're doing to you? Let's get that calculator back out. Okay. And now it's a 3% loan. Okay. A 3% loan. And every single month they're taking 3%, 0.03, dividing it by 12. And they're using this number, 0.0025. Every single month you have their money, they're going to charge you 0.0025% interest on the unpaid balance. Let me show you how that works. So if my first interest payment is $500 and my principal is originally $200,000, let me multiply this number by 200,000. Multiply by 200,000 equals exactly $500. So out of my payment of $843, look here. Now my next payment, because of that, $343.21 is left after the discounting of $500 to pay down the principal. Now here's my principal payment, $199,656.79. My first mortgage was $200,000. Now I have a second mortgage here. Yeah, $199,656.97. And they're going to take, now this is all hidden behind the scenes. It's right there in front of you. It's hidden in plain sight. They're going to take 0.0025 again and multiply it by this unpaid balance. Let's see what happens when we do. Let's bring our calculator back on the screen, okay? And now we're going to do 0.0025. That's taking the 3% interest rate and dividing it by 12 and multiply it by 199,656.79. This is my next mortgage here. All right. So we're going to multiply that by 199,656. Oops. Delete that. 656.79. Okay. Equals $499.14. Look here. Right there. That's what they're doing to you. It's not one mortgage, ladies and gentlemen. It's 360 separate ones. And we were never told this in school. 360 separate mortgages. And each month you're discounted by, what was that original number I said? What were you discounted by? Okay. 40 some percent. Okay. Listen, that discount is too high. We think it's a low interest rate, but it's a super high interest cost. So if I'm in banking and I can make you think that you're borrowing $200,000 at 3%, in fact, somebody has told you, if you're a real estate investor, somebody has told you, why pay this loan off faster? Because because you're only saving 3% here. Have you been told that? Has anybody ever been told that? That this is a 3% loan, so why mess with it? Have you been told that? Well, it's a lie. It wasn't because they were intentionally lying. It is because we're all taught to tell the same lie. In fact, we're victims of the system. And not only are we victims, but we're taught to victimize ourselves. Yeah, by continuing to do this. When we could do something different, cut into their profits. Now, why is it that this is not taught? The whole banking system is reliant upon the fact that we're ignorant to how this works, because the individuals or the entities that do the loans sell the loans to investors. The one thing that investors are most afraid of is prepayment. They're more afraid of prepayment than they are of default. Yes, believe it. Because when they look at this thing, they're looking at, man, somebody gave me over $10,000, but only $4,000 of it went to pay down the loan. Listen, I would do that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Give me $10,000. All right. But I get, as an investor, I get to keep 5,900 of it, while only 4,000 pays down the loan. That means you have to pay 360 times to get this thing done. I'm going to get interest for 360 months. You better believe it. And I'm telling you, real estate investors, that you're probably paying more interest. You're probably paying more interest on this $200,000 loan than your counterparts that are just buying the home, you know, as a residential mortgage. Why? Because we are taught as real estate investors not to prepay one dime. Not one. Because we're taught that your tenant is paying the mortgage. So you're not going to prepay anything. Now, every now and then, a retail home buyer is going to, round it up a couple of dollars. They'll instead of 843, they might round it up to 850. But most often, we don't do that as investors. Here's the other thing. You know what makes this so crazy? Is we don't accelerate these loans to pay them off. You're not trying to pay the loan off fast. So when people contrast what we do here at the P.I.L.L. method against what real estate investors have traditionally done, they're saying, why pay the loan off faster? I am not paying the loan off faster. I don't do that for myself. I don't do that for my clients. We pay the loan off cheaper. I'm giving the bank back their money in a way which makes it impossible for them to charge me all that interest. That's what's really going on. I'm giving them the money that I owe them. But if I can give them this money, the $4,000 up front, I don't have to pay them $5,900 in interest to do that. I would much rather give them $500. And stop giving the investor all of that discounted money. This is their profit, ladies and gentlemen. This is their profit. Listen, how would you like to be in a situation where you get $843 and 500 of that is profit? What? That's what's happening. So do we want to continue to do that? Can I show you it? Listen, it even, so some people say, well, listen, Don, I got this low mortgage, and you just showed me where even a small mortgage cost me a ton of money because we have 360 separate mortgages. Let me show you what's going on behind the scenes. I need you to see this. And some people are shocked when they see this. And if you're not on YouTube, you need to be. I need to show you this. Okay. Here is somebody with they have a mortgage of let me see here. They have, what was left on the mortgage when they 237,000 when they came to us. Okay. 231. No, this is a brand new mortgage. They've been in it for 14 months. This mortgage they were in for 14 months. I need you to see this. Okay. In the first 14 months, they paid this loan down by $3,844. Look how much interest it cost them. So in the first 14 months, they paid out $13,900. Look here, $13,913.62. They paid that out in the first 14 months, but only $3,844 went to pay down their loan. I ask each and every client now, how easy was it to give the bank this $10,000? How easy was it? What do you think they tell me, ladies and gentlemen? I need you to put it in the chat. How easy was it to give the bank that $10,000 in interest in the first 14 months? How easy was it?
Did they put all the money up front?
No, they just made the regular payments for 14 months.
Okay.
Yeah. How easy do you think it was, Terrence?
I couldn't imagine, Don. I'm really waiting on the formula because I can try to get this thing down pat.
Well, listen, listen, the formula is all in our opportunity cost calculator because there are at least 10 variables that need to be considered in saving interest on a loan. We have to plug it into our computer. But here's the thing, folks. Here's what they tell me. It was very easy. I wasn't even thinking about it. I didn't even know in 14 months that 10,000 of my dollars went to interest, and my loan was only paid down by $3,844. When they come to us with less than 5 years into the loan, here's what we show them next. Here's what it would look like if you didn't know us in 5 years on this loan. You're making your payments, and guess what, folks? In 5 years, it's even going to be easier to make this payment. Why is that? Why do you think that is? In 5 years, it's going to be easier to make this mortgage payment. Why? Because they're making more money. And the mortgage payment stays the same. The mortgage payment stays the same. Okay? I'm talking about the principal and the interest. That's not going to change. For the entire mortgage, it stays the same. So it's going to be even easier 5 years from now to pay the loan down by $17,946.29, but it's going to cost $41,000 in interest. Oh my goodness. The reason why I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, is because nobody's pointing this out. This is my mission in life. Don, how are you seeing all of this? It's because I'm autistic. I have autism spectrum disorder. I was late diagnosed. But when I look at an amortization schedule, I see it in pictures and patterns, and I kind of knit this all things together in my head. And it's taken me over 19 years to come up with really good ways to explain this to other people. what's really happening. I see you there, Fernando. Why are you in the audience and not on the stage? Listen, will more of you just raise your hand and come up to the stage, please? Okay. Terrence, I'm gonna make you a moderator so you can help me here. Somebody raise their hand. Let's bring them on up. So Anthony, come on up. All right. Tawana, come on up. I see you. I'm a meet. Come on up. Alondra, come on up. Okay, there you go. Let's bring him up. I need more people to come on stage and comment on these things, talk about it, and learn. And let's learn some more. Let's see. So, Empowerment Solutions. Let's see. What's your name? William. William, how you doing, sir? Click that mic in the lower right-hand corner. Yeah. Well, you could be at work. Some people are at work.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Doing why?
Thank you.
Doing good, man. Doing good. What brings you in?
I'm addicted to credit. I'm addicted to all things dealing with money situations and to bring that house down. I know I'm a human guinea pig, so it works for me. It's going for somebody else.
There you go.
But I went from 100,000 to 45 right now, and I did it the same way you're talking about.
Okay. Well, listen, folks. Let me ask you this: if we pay this thing down every time we do a prepayment, how much interest are we actually saving when we do it? Do you know we're taught not to measure that? We're taught not to measure how much interest we're actually saving, because once you start to measure how much interest you're saving, then what you can also do is the P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, and leverage. Leverage means this: what's the least amount of money I can pay at a particular time on a particular loan to maximize the amount of interest I'm saving per dollar? Did you know that the amount of interest you could save per dollar fluctuates? Oh, yeah. We're taught to think that anything I do to save money is as good as any other thing I can do to save money. It all does the same. I can pay this amount on this day. I can do this amount 2 months from now. I'm saving no matter what. And the savings are no different. That's a lie as well. Paying the right amount of money in the right month, on the right day of the month, on the right loan will increase the amount of interest you're saving per dollar. Your dollar can work harder for you, or it can work less hard. It works less hard when we're not measuring what the dollar can do. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Tawana, how are you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
I most certainly can. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Grand Rising, everyone.
Are you getting anything out of this?
Oh my God, you don't even understand how I'm like so ready to join. But it's been from before. Because I have like over $150,000 in student debt.
Yep.
And also I have like over $7,000 in credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm listening like, oh my God, I gotta get with him. Because I've been listening to you for a while. But it's just that I just haven't been in position, to like actually participate.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting so ready, to get this done, because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that I wasn't up on how much money that they were literally taking from us, and is this legal? That's really my question.
Oh, it's definitely legal.
You signed the papers.
Oh, yeah.
That part.
Okay.
But this sounds like highway robbery all the way through.
All the way through. Only because.
Yes. And I'm disgusted because I'm a victim of it. Now, but I'm a victim. And what I said to myself, I said, I'm not paying another dime until I listen to the P.I.L.L method and get on, so that I don't be a victim all my life. Because like before I take off, the thing I heard is once you know, you can't not know anymore.
Exactly.
Now you know. So either you're gonna make a move on it or not.
Right.
But I appreciate you so much, and you are so the bomb. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Listen, folks, let's talk about let's talk about the cost of doing nothing. Okay. The cost of doing nothing. I want to share with you some things you can do today. Something you can do today is get what's called a free savings and earnings report. You can get a free report telling you the month, day, and year you can be debt free on the amount of money you're making now. We want you to understand you don't need more money to get out of debt. You just need to pay less interest. So, what do we need to do? Go to ice10k.com. I see you, April. Come on in here. All right. It says we just brought April to the stage. She's watching us. She just entered the YouTube studio. April, how are you? I can hear you.
I don't know. Oh, hey, Mr. Don. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm on children drop off. I have kinder, elementary, and elementary, middle, and high school. So I'm listening while I'm driving.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I am blessed, and I'm excited to be a part of the P.I.L.L. method and saving this interest.
Oh wow, we're gonna be talking. So where in the country are you?
I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Texas, the great state of Texas.
Okay, all right. So I'm glad that you're here this morning to talk to the people. And we were just talking about the cost of doing nothing, and we were talking about that. But you've actually pulled the trigger, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Just newly. I'm excited.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right.
I'm ready to have my mortgage and bills paid off in the next few years. Not very long either.
Okay. What do we quote you? Do you remember?
About 3 years and 9 months.
What?
Yes.
3 years, 9 months?
And we're only 11 years in on our mortgage. So I'm overjoyed to hear that.
Wow, wow, wow. I want to thank you for being here this morning.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. Love you. Have a good day. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, listen, you jump in anytime you wish. I want to thank you for being here. And listen, folks, she's dropping off the kids this morning at school. How about that? All right, April. So listen, I'm going to put you back on mute, but anytime you want to jump in, don't wait for a pause. All right, interrupt, ask your question or make your comment, okay?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, folks. April is a brand new client. All right, DFW. Found us on YouTube and decided to do this. All right, let me pull this up for you. Okay, this is what she did. She went to ice10k.com, ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com, and then scrolled down. All right, and clicked on get a savings and earnings report. This is how easy this is. Fill this out. Okay. Fill out part 1. This lets you into part 2, where you can put in all your financial data. And then after that, you can get what's called a savings and earnings report for free. Yeah. Look at here. It says, don't waste another dollar paying off the wrong debt. Get your free savings report now. So you get a free report. Then you're going to say, listen, well, Don, after we get the free report, then what? I can get out of debt in 3 years. I can get out of debt in 6 years. I can get out of debt in 7 years. I can pay off all of my debt, mortgages, student loans, everything in that amount of time. So what do we need to do next? Is there a fee for this? Well, let me tell you about the fee. Okay. You already signed up for a huge fee, paying 75% more interest than you needed to pay. That's number one. Plus, you put a big down payment on for the privilege of paying extra. If I can cut your interest cost by $150,000 to $200,000, okay? If I can cut your interest cost by that much and you signed up to pay that, guess who's actually paying the fee for your lifetime program? The bank that wanted to charge you so much interest. you're going to be saving $150,000 to $200,000 in interest you don't have to pay. Take a percentage of that and pay for your lifetime program. Yeah. And why do I need a lifetime program to pay off my mortgage? You don't. Most people are done in about 7 years. So what do? Do you know a great percentage of our clients put a renter in that house and then buy another house? When most people won't pay off one mortgage in 30 years. I have people who are paying off their third, fourth, and fifth mortgages on this program because you get to use the program over and over and over again, and you pay once using the bank's money. Oh, come on. It can't get better than that. So get your savings and earnings report today. Do what April did. Okay? And get it done. All right, so here's what we're going to do, folks. We're talking about the cost. We're talking about the cost of doing nothing. The cost of doing nothing is very, very high. Let me pull this up for you. Okay? I'll pull this up for you. All right? And let me show you something here. This person says, well, to pay off the $237,000 that they owe, okay, the cost of doing nothing is an extra $161,000 that the bank wants them to pay and pay off in 28.8 years. Or they can pay off in 10.3 years and only pay around $70,000. Oh, what in the world? That's right. Pay about $70,000 instead of $161,000. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the cost of doing nothing is. A lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, you're already doing this and paying off in 28.8 years. Totally satisfied with that at first. It was very easy to keep making these payments. And every year that goes by, it gets even easier to make the payments. But they keep discounting month after month after month. The cost of doing nothing is very high, especially for real estate investors. Okay, so let me pull up another one. Okay, here's one. We've got two loans in here. All right, in 2 months. Okay, this interest rate is 3.25%. This interest rate is 5%. But even 3.25 really means, and this is a 15-year mortgage. This is a 15-year mortgage. I never get a 15-year mortgage, never, ever. Always get a 30 and pay it off in about 7. Okay, there's absolutely no reason ever to get a 15-year mortgage or refi to a 15-year mortgage. 15-year mortgages are a money maker for the bank. Don't ever touch it. Not even with a 10-foot pole. And if anybody wants to ask me questions about it, I'll talk to you all day about 15-year mortgages, why you should never, ever get one. But this is a 15-year mortgage, okay? And in the first 2 months, they paid the mortgage down by $7,374.92, and they paid $4,000 in interest in the first 2 months. Look at that. And this one, I believe, is a 30-year mortgage in, 37 months, paid the loan down by $99,000, but it cost them $222,000 in interest. Okay. How much interest have they paid? Will they have paid in 60 months? $472,000. $472,000 discounted from their payments in the first 5 years, while they're paying down $409,000 to get this equity. $409,000 in equity, but it costs $472,000 in discounted interest. Okay. This one here, look at this. They want $1,123,195. That's how much they still owe. Okay. All right. This is I'm sorry. This is the interest. $1,123,000 in interest on $2,236,000 worth of debt. This is how much interest. This is a real estate investor with $2 million worth of loans to pay off in 21.9 years. Why didn't this real estate investor care about this? Okay, because when you add up their payments, it's about $14,000 a month, and they're making over $40,000 a month in rents. Over $40,000 a month in rents, and the mortgage payment is $14,000. That's why they didn't care until they read my book. When they read my book, they gave me a call and said, "What's going on here?" Okay, I showed them how they can pay off the $2 million that they have, $2.2 million, and only pay $243,000. Okay, and pay it off in 4.9 years if they choose to. Can you see now? Can you see now what's happening? And we showed them, if you take that money, okay, you're saving about 17 years. And if you take that money, you don't have to give the bank and invest it over the next 17 years over and above what you're already doing as a successful business owner. You can take that money and turn it into another $9,699,000. Instead of, this is why I'm saying that real estate investors are leaving millions on the table, because the money that you are giving away unnecessarily, in this case, could make this gentleman an extra $9,699,000. Can I tell you a little secret about this $9 million? That is compounded interest only at 1% annually. $9 million at 1%. You see, when we do a savings and earnings report, the potential wealth accumulation, we always do it around 1%, because we know that they're going to get more than that. I can safely say 1%. Okay, because I know they're actually, when they start investing, they're going to be making 10, 15, 20% cash on cash return, not 1%. This is going to be a lot of money for him. And he was formerly giving it to the bank as the cost of doing business. Stop giving your money away. Do I have it? Listen, Anthony, I see you here. You finally came up to the stage. What's going on, man? Can I get other people up on the stage here in Clubhouse and talk to us this morning? What have you learned? What's different for you? I got Hash. Come on up. Hash, what do you have to say to us? Good morning.
Good morning. You wanted to initiate something. What do you want to initiate?
No, we're just talking here this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Listen, if you got any questions, go ahead and ask your questions about how to save all of that interest and stop giving it to the bank. Okay. So let me show you another one. Look here. This is JP. Okay. Let's see here. In the first 32 months on this loan, paid it down by $28,000, cost $35,000 in interest. In the first 30 on the rental mortgage, in the first 36 months, paid it down by $12,000, but it cost them $14,000. I need people to see how much this is actually costing them as real estate investors. How much does it cost to get the equity? It is money that we're not taught to pay attention to. Okay? You don't miss what you cannot measure. You don't miss what you cannot measure. And we're taught not to measure it. Therefore, we don't miss it. So if we could measure, we could give the bank back their money in a way that makes it impossible for them to charge us all of that interest. How would you like that? To be in full charge of your loan. Okay. I just talked to another client, a potential client the other day. They called in, they're watching these videos, and they have an interest. One of their loans is interest only. Oh my gosh, I was so happy to see that. Real estate investors, you want to have full control of your loan? You need to call us and find out how an interest only loan can work for you. Oh my gosh, it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's even, well, It's almost as good as, compared to a 40-year mortgage, interest only mortgage, 40-year. Listen, I want to get the longest term, okay? And I want to be in complete control of the loan. An interest only loan gives you the most control over the loan possible. Interest only means that that's your minimum payment is the interest payment. It doesn't mean you can only pay interest. It doesn't mean that at all. It means you can pay principal anytime you want and any amount that you want. And what's great about an interest only loan is your payment is based on your principal balance. If you put money on principal, if you have a $400,000 interest only loan and you're making the interest payments on that, but you know what? Why tell you? Why tell you? Let me show you. Okay. Let me show you what's going on here. Okay. Why talk about it when I can show about it? Okay. So let's bring up Brett Whistle again. Okay. 400,000. Okay. $400,000. Okay. Too many zeros. Okay. 400,000. Interest rates are 7%. I love the 7% interest rate. Listen, folks, if you can afford the payment, even though the interest rates are at 7%, don't wait. Get the property now. I'll show you how to save a ton of money, even at 7%. I like 7% more than 5.5%. If you want to understand more about that, you need to go to ice10k.com and get a savings and earnings report so that we can teach you why I love the higher interest rates that they have now. If I can make the payment, I'm getting this. I'm not doing anything to bring this down at all. Okay. If I can make the payment and I can cash flow. All right, great. So 7%. All right. And this is how we calculate this. All right. The payment is $2661.21. The interest only payment is $2,333.33. So if you have this loan, this is your payment, $2,331.33. Let's just say, let's just say you decided, I don't know, I want to give them $5,000. All right. And I want to put it on principal. I'm going to make my monthly payment of $2333.33. I'm going to give them an additional $5,000. Okay. So let me duplicate this tab. That means every month I just pay interest only. This $400,000 doesn't move. For the next 10 years, I could give them interest only for the next 10 years, and this $400,000 will not move. I'll still owe $400,000 10 years from now. That is one of the complaints about interest only loans, only because we have not been taught how to use them properly. What if we did this? What if we did this? I'm going to give them $5,000. That means we're at $395,000. $395,000 now. Okay. At 7%. Okay. And if I calculate this, I got to take that payment out because when we're calculating a new one, we have to take the payment out. Okay. Here's my new payment now. Okay. This is an interest only loan. Okay. My interest only payment is now $2304.17 as opposed to $2333.33. I gave him $5,000. My payment is dropped down to $2304.17. You see, when you have an interest only loan, you are complete control, not only how much interest you save, and when you pay principal, but you're complete control of your payment as well. More money you put on principal, your monthly payment actually drops. So if you're considering wanting to increase your cash flow on your loans, get an interest only loan and strategically pay the loan down, saving interest and increasing cash flow. This is a great tool when it's used correctly. Okay, a great tool when it's used correctly. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I see I've got Lady D here. I got Vivian, I got Ken. Listen, Kim, what are you doing, man? You came in late.
Yeah, I got a lot going on, Mr. Don.
But that's okay, man. I appreciate you being here this morning. All right. So I've got Anthony here. Anthony, how are you this morning? I see Alex here. Listen, if you guys can talk, anybody who can talk, flash their mic. Anybody who can talk, flash their mic. I got Lady D, Vivian. Listen, I love it when people. Miss Lady D, what's going on with you?
Good morning. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. Do you have a question or
Good.
comment this morning?
Actually, I was just listening. I only loan. Um, didn't play that game the way that you just explained it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is good information. So I'm just listening.
All right. Well, then, thank you. Listen, if you ever have a question or comment, please don't wait for me to stop talking. Interrupt me. You have full permission. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, though, folks. I just get so excited about giving out this information. So excited about this. How you doing, TJ? Listen, is that JJ? JJ Murphy? How are you doing this morning? Okay. Listen, if you can talk, great. If you can't, I understand. But I'm glad that you're here. I am glad that you're here. So I need you all to be watching me on YouTube. And if you can't watch it right now, watch the replay, because as soon as we're done, it's going to be up. All right. As soon as we're done, it's going to be up. Listen, real estate investors, I'm going to take you through some ideas. It's not going to be exact. It won't be exact, but I'm going to take you through a scenario where you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. And we're going to start with a savings and earnings report. Let me see here. Let me bring up, now this is what we call a comparative. Let me bring up a true savings and earnings report. This is what you'll get when you go to ice10k.com and click on get a free savings and earnings report. So let me bring up one here. Savings and earnings report. There we go. Boom, boom. Let's bring this one up. Okay, there it is.
Excuse me, big brother almighty.
I'm sorry?
Excuse me. Where on YouTube do I go find you live?
Oh, the link is at the top of the page.
Enough said. Thank you very much.
Yep. Or you can go to YouTube and search for P.I.L.L method. Either way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, folks. So, all right, that's not what I want. I don't want that one. Let me find there it is, commercial example. Here is a commercial example of a savings and earnings report. We're going to break this down for you and show you what possibly could happen if you use some of these strategies. Now, if you do this on your own, you can save some money. If you use our calculator, you can save a lot more because the payments are going to be strategic and surgical. We pay the right amount in the right month. You don't place money on principal every single month in our program, only at strategic times during the year when your money can save you the most interest per dollar. So, Don, you said that several times. What does that mean? Well, if let's say at a certain point when you put the amount of money on principal and we can figure out how much interest you can save, well, if we can do a little bit more math, we can figure out that how much interest you're saving per dollar. So let's say you can save $6 in interest per dollar. Okay, that's the most you could save. By doing something different and doing it the wrong way, you can put a significant amount of money on and only save $4 in interest per dollar. But if you don't have a way to measure, you can't tell if you're saving $4 in interest per dollar or $6 in interest per dollar. You can't tell because we're taught not to measure. So whatever you're doing, ladies and gentlemen, okay, somebody just asked a question, which is a very good question. Isn't it up to the bank to decide how to allocate your payments? No, it's up to your It's up to your amortization schedule. It's up to the schedule. Okay. Now, since you listen, folks, I would love to go over this example for you, but I love it when people ask questions. Okay. I love it when people ask questions. So let's go over that. Here is an amortization schedule. All right. And so if you want, please go to YouTube so you can watch this example. Okay. Here is a $1 million loan. All right. For 300 payments. Okay. 25 years at 5%. Here's your schedule. Okay. And this is the schedule. This is what you signed up for. They can't change the schedule. Only you can change this schedule. Okay. So if you give them money when they're not looking for it, they can't charge you interest on it, which changes this whole thing. Your amortization schedule changes each and every time you prepay. You can't use the same amortization schedule if you prepay. It knocks it all off. Okay. Let me pull up, to make it a little easier, let me pull up this $200,000 loan at 3%. Okay. 200,000 at 3%. If I prepay this, okay, all right, then my new mortgage payment is on line 3. So I go from payment number 1 to payment number 3. Payment number 2 has just been eliminated because I prepaid payment number 2, or I can prepay the whole year. Okay. So I can go from payment number 1. If I give them the $4,175.62, I would normally give them over 12 payments. I give it to them on line 1. I go from line 1 to line 13 on my amortization schedule. I just knocked out 11 payments I never have to make. Payment number 1 is now touching payment number 13 in my amortization schedule. I just eliminated 2 through 12. How about that? That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much about this thing that we need to learn. If you want to know more, did you know that we offer coaching with our program? It's not just the technology. It's the coaching that goes along with it. We're going to teach you more about your loans than you ever thought possible. And anytime you have a question about what it is that we are suggesting that you do, you can ask your coach, show me the numbers as to why this works. You know who doesn't show you the numbers? Dave Ramsey doesn't show you the numbers. He just tells you stuff. You know who else doesn't show you the numbers? Susie Orman. Susie Orman doesn't show you the numbers. Guess who else doesn't show you the numbers? The people who are online teaching you right now that you should have a HELOC in first position and pay off your loan in about 15 years. Folks, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just regurgitating information that they've been that they've received, because here's what they don't tell you. When you watch any video on using a HELOC in first position, now that system does work. Please, I'm not saying it doesn't work, or using velocity banking, but here's what they don't tell you. For you as an individual, how much should you borrow from your HELOC? How much is, if you are using velocity banking, using credit cards to pay down your mortgage, you get the money from the credit card, how much should you borrow? And how long should it take to pay that back before you do it again? They're not giving you the specific numbers. And this is why a lot of people get in trouble using velocity banking and using a HELOC in first position, because it is too tempting to take out more money out of the HELOC than you're putting in, because there are no guardrails. In our program, we provide the guardrails. If you do anything that costs you more money, our program instantly flags it and puts it right on your screen. Oh, this is costing you more money. Don't do that. Okay. Even before you've done it, you can just talk. Well, you can just go to the program and just ask, what if I did do this? And by working with our coaches, you're going to understand more about your loans than you ever thought possible, where you can borrow money at 1% or less. So that's what we're talking about. So, sir, I see you have another question here, but doesn't this sometimes confuse the banks? Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Do you care? Okay, I'm going to finish your question though. But doesn't this sometimes confuse the banks? If I find that banks make a lot of mistakes, even for straightforward processes, that's why you need to be educated on the process. That's why you need someone who knows the process to be on your side to teach you. So, listen, I know when a mistake is made because I know how it's supposed to be done right. If you don't know how it's supposed to be done right, how can you ever know when they make a mistake? Yeah, there you go. So here's what you need to see. All right. And the first part of this is quite simple. If you owe at this point, and if you're on a loan, if you owe $200,000, okay, and you make a payment, and you put $1,000 on principal, when you look at your statement, you should have a balance of $199,000. It's that simple. You put $1,000 on principal, it should show you that you only owe $199,000 now because you put $1,000 straight to principal and no interest comes out of that. What they don't tell you is how much interest you saved. What you have not been taught to calculate is how much interest is saved for your $1,000. So if I have an extra $1,000, let me show you something here. If I have an extra $1,000 on this loan to put down, and I don't know how much interest is saved, I may not do it because it's not going to move my loan by very much. I'll still owe $199,000. Why would I do that? I could buy something, really cool for the house for $1,000. Then I still owe $199,000 on a 30-year loan. Why would I ever do that? Watch this. I could prepay about $1,000 on this loan and knock out over $1,000 worth of interest I never have to pay. If you knew that an extra $1,000 put on the loan at a strategic time could save you about $1,000 in interest, doesn't that mean more to you than putting $1,000 on a $200,000 loan and finding out you still owe $199,000? No one is pointing where you should be looking. And where you should be looking is how much interest you just saved with that money. There you go. $200. Let's see. Let me show you something. I'm going to take this same loan and put it at 6%. Okay, I'm going to take this 3% loan out because that ain't coming back. Okay, I just needed to show that even if it's a 3% loan, it's not low interest cost. Okay, it's very high interest cost even at 3%. But here is a loan for 6%, $199,000. Okay. Now, what you're also doing is putting everything into our system, and I'll show you that in a minute. Watch this. Watch this now. Okay, let me get these ads off the screen. Watch this. $200 prepaid saves you about $1,000 here. Okay. This is how simple the math can be. If $200 prepaid can save you $1,000, what if you only have half the money? What if you only have half of 200? You put $100 down. Okay. You put $100 down. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. I'm going to give you an example of this. You put $100 down, and now you save about what? $500 in interest. Okay. So let me see how I can share this screen with you. I've got a slide. I got a slide for this. Okay. It's called The Power of the Penny. I hope it comes over on this screen. Okay. And let me share this. All right. So let me take this off, move this screen over here, move this screen over here. All right. Let me see if this works. Okay. And we're going to share this screen now. All right. We're going to, there we go. There it is. Okay. You can see it now. This is called the power of the penny. Okay. Just so that you can have an idea of what's going on. On a $200,000 loan at 6%, $200 prepaid saves us about $1,000. Then if I prepay $100, okay, if I prepay $100, then it'll save me about $500 in interest I don't have to pay. Do you realize the more interest you save, the faster you pay off the loan? Why? Because more of the money you already make goes to the principal side. Less of the money you already make goes to the interest side if you prepay. So if I prepay $100 here, bring it back. Okay, what happened? There it is. So if I prepay $100, I save about $500 in interest. But what if I cut it in half again? $50. $50 saves you $250. $12.50 saves you $75 in interest. $6.25. Listen, on that mortgage, if you knew that as little as $6.25 would save you $37.50 in interest, because $6.25 on my mortgage on a $200,000 mortgage does nothing to move the principal that much. I mean, why would I do that? But if I knew it saved me $37 in interest I don't have to pay, now my $6.25 becomes more valuable. Why? Because of measuring. But what about $3.13? Cut it in half again. If you gave me $3.13, and I gave you back $18.75, how many times would you do that? How many times? Oh my gosh, look at all these people in here. I wish I had more people on the stage. I wish I had more people asking me questions, okay? Because I love to answer your questions, all right? So, all right, Leroy, I hope that answers your question, because our program will keep up with it. And anytime your bank disagrees with our program, you can call your bank and say, listen, you guys made a mistake, okay? And they'll fix it.
Okay.
What's up?
Real quick. Now, I told you that I had, 100,000 at once. Then I brought it down to 45,000.
Yeah.
So I'm probably doing it the wrong way, yeah, but I need to get on your link so that way I can do this in a better way. Because as of right now, I got the thing on my wall, and my payment is $884.34 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's $10,612.08 a year. So what I've been doing is I've been giving them 6 months of mortgage, so that way I ain't got to worry about mortgage and then still paying the principal. So I don't have a mortgage for 6 months.
Are you sure? Who are you doing this with a bank or with a private lender?
This is something I came up with, and like I said, I'm probably doing it wrong.
No, what I meant was is that I haven't met a mortgage I could give them money to, and I don't have to give them money for the next 6 months. I've never met a mortgage like that.
Oh yeah, I was on with
Right. Well, listen, I would love to see that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've never seen it.
No, that's fine. I can do that. I'd be happy to, because like I said, I could probably have this thing paid off in no time. I got paid off now, but I don't want to do that.
Exactly, because you don't know how much interest you're saving. You only pay something off when you know that folks, I need you to understand this part. If I pay something off,
Right.
and I don't know how much interest I save, how do I know I couldn't take that same amount of money and invest it and make even more?
Right.
Okay. So if I, in the last part of a mortgage, somebody asked me, should I pay off my mortgage? I only have about 5 or 6 years left. Yeah. And I said, well, you still owe, $70,000. But if you pay that off, all right, it's only going to save you about $5,000 in interest.
Right.
So if you take that $70,000 and invest it, put it in another property, or just put it in the stock market or whatever you want to do with that $70,000, you're going to make more than the $5,000 you would save by paying it off. There's a certain point where you should stop trying to pay off any loan because the benefits are so small.
Right.
There's more benefits in the beginning when you're doing this. Okay. So now, everybody, do you have anything else you want to share with me? Because listen, anytime you want me to put some examples that you want on the screen, I'll be glad to do it.
Right. That was Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper. Okay. All right.
Right.
So you're saying that you can give them money and you're not having any payments to make for the next 6 months if you can pay 6 months ahead?
Yes, sir.
Never seen that. But listen,
Yes, sir.
if that is the case, never do it. Do you know why? Because all the interest you just saved, they're going to recoup because every month. That doesn't mean they're not charging you interest. Every month you pay it, they're charging you interest on that loan, whether you're making a payment or not. So if you can pay ahead, if you could pay ahead, and they say you don't owe us any money for the next 6 months, they're gaining that all the money you just saved, they're clawing it back every single month. Don't fall for that trick. Okay? Especially on car loans. You say what?
I thought I was doing
Oh,
something.
no, brother. They'll get that money right back. Because listen, just because you're paying ahead doesn't mean that the interest calculation stops. It doesn't.
I definitely want to show you this because even when you look at the payment history, it all comes out. You can see where the payment comes out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get some time later on, I definitely like to show you this because I need to learn a little bit more because apparently I don't want to keep doing this and being stupid about it.
Well, listen, it's not stupid if you didn't know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. You can say the proper term would be ignorant because we didn't know, but we can get educated.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do that. So listen, folks, I'm going to put my business number in the chat. Okay. It is 256 886 1867. Okay. 256-886-1867. All right. We've got I'll put it over here. Okay.
Hey, Don, Miss Julian have a question.
What's that?
Put in the chat.
Okay, thank you very much for that. All right, what'd you say, sir? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I left you a message on WhatsApp.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, that's not a cell phone number.
Okay.
Okay. That's our business number. So you can go to Instagram, P.I.L.L. Method Instagram, and leave us a message, or you can click on ice10k.com, go to ice10k.com, and then there's a button there that says let's stay connected. You can send me a message that way. Okay. So go to ice10k.com, scroll down just a little bit, and let's stay connected and leave me you can send me a text message there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Let's talk. Buses 886 1867.
All right.
I see Miss April is back. We're adding her to the stage. Miss April, good to see you back. All right. I have another question here. Let's take a look at the question. Julian says, Myron Golden was talking about this a few days ago. What yeah, I've seen Myron talk about that. I've actually had Myron come speak for me when I lived in Battle Creek, Michigan, but this was years ago. You know, he wasn't charging 40,000 an hour back then. Okay. All right. So he was talking about how you can take a HELOC in first position. And hold on for just a second here. I got to make some changes in my setup. Okay. You can take a HELOC in first position, and you can use that to pay down your loan. So what is happening with that? Let me get this off the screen. Okay. And because I just wanted to show you that if you keep cutting that prepayment in half, you can get that all the way down to where you're prepaying 1 penny and it saves you 7 cents in interest. So it's really important that we know how much interest we're saving whenever we do anything, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So here's what Myron Golden was talking about. That if I have, let's say I have a HELOC for $200,000. Okay. I got a HELOC for $200,000 and I'm paying interest on $200,000. Correct? Correct. But let's say I have an income of $10,000. Okay? When I get my income, all right, let's say it's a 2-family household. I got an income of $10,000 and I put that on my HELOC because it's a revolving loan. The interest on a HELOC, you're paying interest on the average daily balance, So there's a certain amount of interest they're going to charge me on $200,000. But if I take my income and place it in the HELOC like a deposit, the HELOC will count it as a $10,000 payment to that loan. Does that make sense? This is what Myron is talking about. And then I pay my bills from there. Let's say my bills come to $8,000. I'm just making up a number. Okay. My bills come to $8,000. I put in 10, but I slowly pay my bills day after day, and my balance creeps back up. So when I put in 10, I start paying interest on $190,000 because I put my whole income in there. Does that make sense, everybody? My income is in there. So I'm paying interest on $190,000, but I still have to pay bills. So slowly but surely, I'm going to pay $8,000 worth of bills during the month, and my balance creeps up. But my interest cost on the loan, because I put my income in there, is going to be less. My interest cost is less because I'm not charged 30 days of interest on $200,000. I'm only charged daily interest on the money that I still owe as I pay my bills. But when it averages out, because I put my income in, I'm paying less interest than I normally would if I had just put that money in my checking account and paid my bills from there. Does that make sense, everybody? So because I pay less interest, I'm able to pay off the HELOC faster. Okay. So my HELOC is $200,000. Okay. But my limit on the HELOC is $250,000. The whole idea for me is to put in 10 and only spend 8. So 2,000 will constantly be paying down the HELOC. Do you see where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen? My interest cost is less, plus I put in 10, but I'm spending 8. So it comes down $2,000 a month. That's how it's supposed to work. But if I have an emergency, and emergencies pop up all the time, I'm going to put in 10, but I'm going to spend 11 because the money's there. This is how people get in trouble with this. Myron Golden is talking about it, but he doesn't tell you all the details, and he doesn't share with you how much interest you can actually save. Okay. So you know what? Somebody says you should do one of those Instagram videos where Myron is on one side and you're on the other, and you get to explain what's really happening. I should do that. Okay. Yeah, I should do that. So Julia says, does this work on seller finance deals? Most definitely. Most definitely. Listen, if you can negotiate, are you the Julia? Are you the buyer or are you the seller? Okay. Right. So if you're the if you're the buyer, okay. And here's what I would want to negotiate if I was the buyer. I want to try to negotiate um um a no interest loan. I'm going to try to negotiate a no interest loan. But if it turns out that you are paying interest, this program works. But I can almost guarantee you that if you're doing a seller finance deal, somebody's got their mic open. If you're doing a seller finance deal, all right, then you prepay. That person doesn't know enough about how to manage your payments and to charge you the right amount of interest on this. So you're going to have to use us or someone else to help you keep track of this. Now, a lot of seller finance, people who are doing seller finance don't manage the debt themselves. They hire a company to manage it for them. If they've hired a company to manage it for them, you're going to be better off in learning how to save money on interest. If the seller themselves is trying to manage the loan, then you're going to have to be diligent about how you prepay and developing a new amortization schedule, because each time you prepay, the old amortization schedule is destroyed. Okay, so very difficult. Now, if you have our program does it all for you. All right, and you can help them with that information. So I'm going to put a example of the opportunity cost calculator on the screen so that you can see that. So let me take a look. So Julian, does that answer your question?
Hi, sorry. Yes, it does.
All right. Listen. Do you have any more questions?
I'm brainstorming, but yes, I will.
Listen, man. Listen. Any question you want, just bring it up or a comment. Okay. What brings you into this room anyway?
I saw why real estate investors losing millions, and definitely piqued my interest, and I'm learning a lot already.
All right. Does that make sense that if we're paying money in interest that we don't need, then that we can't also invest that money? That makes sense to you?
Completely blew my mind to a whole new way of investing.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to do something for you. Now, I want everybody to go to YouTube because I'm going to show you an example. This is not how my program works. All right. But I'm going to give you an overall example of what could happen based on just the math. Okay. So, first of all, I need you to see an example of the opportunity cost calculator that you're going to get when you start to work with us. But to start to work with us, the first step is to get a savings and earnings report for free. All right. Here is our opportunity cost calculator. It keeps track of everything. You just put in your numbers. The program tells you exactly how much to pay, how much to put in savings, and then it tells you here when to put money on the Visa and when to put money on the mortgage, and it tells you exactly how much to the penny. So the program does all of the math for you. So let me bring up another loan, okay? And let me see here. And there it is. Okay, so we're going to bring up another loan here. We're going to put in a payment. So if you're using Brett Whistle, this is why I love Brett Whistle. I can put in the payment of $8,704. That's the payment. The interest rate is 5%. It is a SBA loan. It's for 300 months. We're going to take out the principal balance because this will calculate our principal balance for us. Okay, this is an investor that has a loan for $1,488,906.65. Okay, that's what they have. Okay, I see you, Wanda. You're asking this is, how about if you are the seller? Should you get a HELOC on the property while the buyer is making payments? Okay, let me tell you. Okay, so Wanda, if I own the property and I'm living in it and I'm getting ready to turn it into a rental, before you turn it into a rental, get a HELOC before you turn it into a rental. It's harder to get one on a rental property. I didn't say it's impossible, it's just harder. But if you're living in it, get your HELOC and then rent it. All right. But yeah, listen, I love HELOCs. They can be very valuable if you use them correctly. Okay. But you have to keep up with all your numbers. It is very, very complicated to pay down a loan correctly. We've been told that it's very easy and very simple. But when I pay something very easy and very simple, I can't be strategic. I can't be exact. And I'm going to be losing money the whole while. Why should I save some money when I can save the most money that's mathematically possible? All right. Why should I try to drive from Huntsville to California using a paper map when I could just stick it in my GPS and the GPS tells me when to turn? Okay, please. That's what we're talking about here. So let's break this loan down. Let's break this loan down. I want to show you what could happen. Okay, this is a real estate investor, and they're making quite a bit of money on this property. He called me after reading my book, The P.I.L.L. Method, which is a bestseller on Amazon. Okay, The P.I.L.L. Method. Okay, it's been a bestseller 6 times on Amazon. So you want to get the book. The book is not a ABC 1, 2, 3. It's enough to get you to understand that we need to do things differently. Okay, we are disrupting this industry. We're disrupting this industry. Okay, so another thing I just learned. I've been investing 3 years. Yes, come on now. I love it. I love it. Watch this. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. So he's out of his payment, which is 8,000. Okay, 8,704. 8,704. He was being discounted. Do I have a question or comment?
I swear I'ma fuck you in your sleep.
All right, somebody get rid of him.
I'm gonna wake you up sucking your.
Thank you. Yeah, you can't do that. Okay, all right. And whoever's you can go ahead and ban them from the room. Okay.
You don't have to let us know. It's already done.
Oh my goodness, I love you, Daphne.
I got you, sir.
Okay. All right. So here we go, folks. Here we go. All right. So 8,704 is the payment. And this guy read my book and says, I don't want to do this anymore. And I said, let me show you something here. Okay. It says, in the first year on this loan, even though you're cash flowing like crazy, your tenants are giving you money here. Okay. It's an office building, by the way. Okay. $30,000 went to pay down the loan, while $73,000 went to interest. Okay. So this payment was discounted. So let's look at the math. 73,000. 748 and 14 cents plus 30,000. Okay, plus 30,000, 699 and 86 cents. A total of $104,448 in rents was given to this person. Okay. $104,000 worth of rent money was given to this person, even though they were cash flowing and able to pay that. Okay. This payment was discounted by $73,000, and it didn't have to be, because here's how we need to take a look at it. From the beginning of this loan to bring it down to this balance, $1,050,000 $458,000. To bring it down to line 12, the bank wanted to discount his payment by $73,000. Now, out of all the money this guy brings in every month, okay, he has designated $6,000 to go into a fund so that he could do maintenance, okay, maintenance and repairs. Do you know there's about $100,000 in that fund? $100,000 in the fund. It has to remain fairly liquid. So he's just keeping it in a regular savings account, making what, 1/10 of 1%, maybe a little bit more. Okay. But it's not making very much money. It's just sitting there. Why doesn't he care? Because he's making so much money elsewhere. Okay. He's got that money there. He's just designated to go into the fund, $6,000 a month. So I said, as an example, my program didn't tell him to do this. I just use this as an example. Could you take about $30,000 out of the bank, out of that account, and apply it to this loan? You still have over $70,000 in there, wouldn't you? He said, yeah. I said, if you put this money on line 1, would you be paid down to here in 1 month instead of 12 months? I said, yes. I said, guess what happens? If you do this in 1 month, put this on line 1, let's do the math, because I told people I show you the math. Okay. So we have 1 million. Let me do this. It's easier for me to see it this way. 1,488,906.65. Okay. Oop. Delete 65. Okay. That's what we owe. So we're going to prepay $30,699.86. So we're going to subtract that. $30,699.86, real estate investor. Okay. That gives us 1,458,206.79. That's exactly this amount here. So I just needed to show you the math. If we did that, we're paid down to there in 1 month, which makes it impossible for them to charge me interest if I do it incrementally. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So instead of charging me $73,000 in interest, sir, instead of paying $73,000 in interest to get to here, it only costs you $6,000 in interest. That is a savings of over $67,000 to get to the same point in this loan. I had to ask him the question, can you now justify paying the bank $73,000 to get to this point in your loan when you could have paid them $6,200 instead? Oh boy, there should be cheering in the background. There should be fireworks going off. There should be flames coming up in the chat. Did you hear what I just said? Can you now justify paying your loan down by $30,000, doing it the bank's way, and giving them $73,000 when you could have done it all at once out of your savings account and done it for $6,200 in interest instead of $73,000? Does this make sense to you? He says, well, Don, at this point, he says, I see this, and it makes perfect sense to do that, but I can't keep borrowing from my reserve fund. It will soon run out. I said, well, you don't have to. I said, how much are you putting in to the reserve fund every month? About $6,000. I said, well, let's just do this. Why don't we do this? Can we just wait till you put it back? Well, what do you mean? I says, well, you put $30,000 on the loan. You're putting in $6,000 a month into that bank account. How long would it take you to put the $30,000 back if you're putting in $6,000 a month? So how long would it take, folks? It needs to put $30,000 back. Put $30,000 back at $6,000 a month.
5 months.
It would take 5 months. So for the next 5 months, what is he going to do? He's just going to make his regular mortgage payment. So by giving them this on line 1, he's going to give them the $30,699 on line 1. His next mortgage payment is on line 13, isn't it? Look at that. Just took a whole year off. Have mercy. Okay? Right? Money was going to give him anyway. He just chose when to give it. So this is first. So he's going to do 5 months worth of regular payments. That's payment number 1, payment number 2, payment number 3, payment number 4, and payment number 5. Now his $30,000 is back. Okay. Now he's on payment number 18. And I need you to see something here, folks. It would normally take him 18 months to get to this place and $110,000 worth of interest. He's already paid, all right, $6,000 in interest to get to this point. We're paying another $30,000 to get. So we paid about $36,000 in interest to pay the loan down to right here. About $36,000 in interest to pay the loan down to right here. If he had done it the bank's way, it would have cost him $104,000. Holy moly! 36,000 as opposed to 104,000. And now what is he going to do? Borrow another 30 grand from himself and knock off another 11 or 12 months. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Bring him down to right here. So how long has he been in this loan? Okay, the first month he did a whole year. Okay, then did another 5 months. That's 6 months total. And he just made another payment. This is 7 months. 7 months in, he's knocked off over 28 payments. That's over 2 years. At 7 months in, he's paid about $40,000 in interest so far. Okay, brought his loan down to here, right where he owes this $40,000 in interest instead of $169,000, and he's still cash flowing like a king. Listen, that's about $130,000 he's saved already. He didn't have to pay. Does that mean he now has that money available to, since he's got the same equity for a lot less? If we track it, okay, does that mean he could now cash out refi a lot sooner? Listen, in just about 5 or 6 months, he's got $74,000 worth of equity in here. Right? Only cost him about $46,000 to get it. Okay. And he's cash flowing like a king. How long would it take him to, if he kept doing this, all right, kept doing this, at $132,000, could it, at this point, he could be here in no time at $132,000. Could he cash out refi? Okay. And do this and pay a tiny amount of interest instead of, I dare any real estate investor that does this any other way to do this. They feel good about the fact that they have $132,000 worth of equity. Okay. All right. And look at here. But I paid $285,000 to get it. I dare any real estate investor to take a look at how much interest they're actually paying to get the equity. We got this equity so much cheaper, and now I can take out 80% of this and do something with it. Do you see where this is going, ladies and gentlemen? If you keep giving the bank $285,000 just to get this equity, instead of giving them around $50,000 or $60,000 to get it, do you see that they're taking money from your family only because we don't know? I am not anti-bank. I love the bank. Why? I'm going to show you why. Okay, right here. I'm just going to bring this up. Here's the same real estate investor. Okay, this is crazy. I'm going to show him. I got to blow this up. Okay, I'm going to blow this up. Do you know how many real estate investors have told me, Don, I can make 20% cash on cash return. I can do 15% cash on cash return. Why would I ever pay off a low interest mortgage? Here's why. Okay, here's why. The bank wanted $120 million worth of interest from this guy. I can show him how to pay only $231,000 in interest on the same to acquire the same property. If we do the math, the amount of interest that he will pay instead of the amount of interest that the bank wants, do you know what his interest rate would have to be from the bank to pay this amount of interest? It's called the effective interest rate, 0.67%. Less than 1%, everybody. Less than 1%. What are we doing when we could borrow money so cheaply? What are we doing instead of, listen, I just don't know. I just don't know what to do with this. I've been talking about this for years, but because it's so far outside the box, people are, they're kind of nervous about, let me change my setup here. They're kind of nervous about doing something different, but there's a high cost for doing nothing. Here's one of the costs here that we actually put it in the savings report. By getting started today, you can save over $891,000 in interest over the next 4.9 years. Okay. By saving 17 years of debt payments could build you more than $9 million over the same period. Each month you delay to get started will cost you about $15,000 over an average of 4.9 years. Why lose $15,000 a month when you don't have to? There's a high cost of doing nothing. And the first thing to do is get a savings report for free. So let me show you something here. What Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, he's the #1 motivational speaker in the country. He's going to talk to you just a few seconds about what he did while I get a drink of water. Come on, E.T.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
All right, we're back. I haven't, did you see that? So I got another question here. Are you taking questions? Come on, Ross. I'm taking as many questions as y'all want to give me. Okay.
All right. And I know I'm known as a troll here on Clubhouse, but I promise you I'm not trolling right now. I'm kind of like intrigued.
Yes, sir.
So 2 questions, I think. One, now I heard about something like this many years ago before computers.
Mm-hmm.
About, making an extra payment or something like that. But then do you have to identify what portion of the payment is going for X and what portion of the payment is going for Y to make this work?
That is a very good question.
Understand?
Yep, I understand the question totally. Okay, so a prepayment, it only means this. You've made your regular payment. Okay, you made a regular payment already. And then you give the bank an additional amount before the next payment is due. So I made my December payment already. Okay, and any additional money I give them in December will go towards principal before my payment comes up on January 1. Okay. So any amount that I give them over and above my regular payment goes to principal. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but is that automatic? I mean, in the banking world, do they automatic recognize it that way, or do I have to, stipulate that I want it to be treated that way?
Okay. So there's a couple of ways to look at this. If you escrow, if your payment includes taxes and insurance, not just principal and interest of PI, but also includes the TI, taxes and insurance. A lot of banks and mortgage companies, their default is if I see extra money, we're going to stick it in your escrow account. It doesn't have to stay there, but that's the default if they don't know what to do with the money. They know, but that's the default. Okay. So if you are escrowing your payment, then you have to indicate that this money is for principal only. Now, things have changed over the years. When I first started doing this, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. You can go on the website, find where the principal only payment is, put the money there, and then they will put it towards principal because there is a part of the website that's dedicated to that. Does that make sense, Ross?
Okay, so you're saying on your website?
No, on their website.
On the banking website.
On the banking website, you can generally find where to put a principal only payment.
Okay. I haven't had a mortgage in a long time from a bank. I have it from private lenders, but I didn't realize you could do it like that.
Right.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And if you do now, if you get the money from a private lender, you just talk to them and say, listen, I want to put some money on principal. How do you want me to do this so it doesn't confuse the issue? So you just call them up. Please don't ever assume that anything you do is going to be accepted by them. Okay. Because I had one lady put a $40,000 prepayment on her mortgage, and I gave her specific instructions, but she proceeded to write it in the memo. All right, apply to principal only. And then she wrote a note, apply to principal only, and wrapped the check up in the note, put it in an envelope, and mailed it in. Okay, they promptly took the note, threw it away, took her check, and took that money and put it in her escrow account. So when she checked to see if her balance came down by 40,000, she noticed that it did not. So she called and said, well, what happened to that? Well, we put it in your escrow account, but I put it on here on the check and everything and a note. This is, well, at our bank, this was years ago. At our bank, you have to fax us that you're making a prepayment. That's our rules. Do not assume you know their rules. Call them up and find out.
And some loans have prepayment penalties, correct?
Some do, but I don't call it a penalty. You know what I call it? I call it a cost, a prepayment cost. So what is my first question going to be if there's a prepayment cost? How much does it cost to prepay? What's going to be worth the cost, Ross? How do I figure out if the cost I want to pay is going to be worth it?
If the savings is greater.
There you go, my brother. And you know who doesn't tell you if the savings are going to be greater? Those who are charging prepayment penalties. They just want to scare you into continue to pay. If you found out how much interest you were saving and then found out what the penalty is, generally the penalty is so much less than the amount of interest saved once you prepay. But if we don't know that, we just avoid.
Gotcha.
All right. I actually like prepayment because if you get a prepayment, they usually can give you can usually get better terms. You can get the terms that you want if you accept a prepayment, and then I kill the prepayment. I just knock it to hell and back.
Right.
All right. There you go.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. What else you got for me, man? Listen.
So the other question is,
yeah.
I can see my banker. I could see my banker or the bank. When I try to go for another loan after I am successful in, paying down this loan and saving all this interest money, I can see when I go to apply for another loan, they may not be in the mood to make that loan because they didn't make as much money off me on the other loan. Have you seen that happen?
No. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because Jonathan Bing is in here. Okay. Jonathan Bing he owns a mortgage company. And he owns it. And he doesn't care if you prepay it. Do you know why? Because he makes his money when the loan is made. He makes a commission. His commission is not tied to if somebody pays the loan off 30 years from now or one day from now. So on the banking side, they don't care. It's the investors who buy the loan from the banks. They care, but you never really see them. Does that make sense?
So you're saying the bank don't care. It's the investors who are buying the loan that care more than the bank.
Exactly. I need to everybody who's had a mortgage, and that mortgage, as soon as you got it, it was sold within 2 weeks. Put a number 5 in the chat. Put a number 5 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. I got a mortgage and it was sold within 2 weeks. Do you see what you see these 5s coming in?
Yeah, I know loans are packaged, but
yeah,
I know loans are packaged and sold, securitized and all that. But,
yes.
I just can see how a banker can take it personal, like, oh man, we don't make as much money off of you.
Nope, they don't care because they make their money off the investor. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Our whole system of mortgages here in the United States is based on that system. So, creating the mortgage paper, creating that paper, and then selling it to investors. Our whole thing is based on that. So if I'm going to buy, if we were to look at the number of mortgages that go through Chase Bank in a year, and over the last 10 years or 20 years, okay? Do you know if they tried to do all of that on their own, that their reserves would be severely depleted? So they don't make money off their mortgage interest. They make money when they sell the mortgages. So that way they can keep doing it. You see? So if I'm going to manage all those mortgages, then I have to make sure I have all the money I need to make sure that happens so I can continue to make mortgages, or I can't stay in the mortgage business. So for them to stay in the mortgage business, your mortgage has to look attractive to investors. And what is the most attractive thing to investors is that you don't know the benefit of prepayment. You have no idea. If I give the bank an extra $500, how much interest did I just take out of the investor's pocket? You have no idea how much that is. That's why it's not taught in school. And if you don't believe me, okay, I need everybody who's in here. How many of you in here have not received this class at any level of financial education? Put a number 9 in the chat if you've never had this type of education on a loan before in your entire life. Put a number 9 in. Okay? I've never had this education until I heard the P.I.L.L. method. You see, we're taught not to do this. You see that the most ubiquitous financial tool on the planet is the interest-bearing loan. We use credit cards. We use car loans. We use student loans. We use mortgages. We use HELOCs. We use equity loans. I mean, they're not all, excuse me, equity lines of credit. Some are equity loans. So we're using the bank's money, but we're not taught how the silly amortization schedule actually works. And you know who else doesn't know? The person actually doing the loan for you. The loan officer that's doing the loan for you did not take a class on how amortization actually works, because they don't need to know to sell you the loan. Okay? They don't need to know. So they're selling you this loan and they have no idea how the thing works. We are dedicated to telling you the truth, not just telling you the truth, but showing you the truth, showing you the numbers. That's why we're here. So listen, folks, I need you to meet me in Orlando. I'm going to be in Orlando at the end of January. Okay. Let me put that on the screen. Okay. I'm putting the $200 ticket on the screen because that's the full price ticket. The full price ticket is $200. That goes away. Our early bird ticket for $175 goes away at midnight tonight. Goes away at midnight tonight. $175 is gone at midnight tonight. Then it goes to $200. Here's what you're going to get. Okay, you're going to get an introduction to my $4,600 course at this event. You're going to get a total of 4 speakers at this event. Okay, it's the last Friday. Okay, you're going to get a savings and earnings report certificate from this event to make sure that you get your free savings and earnings report. We charge $150 to go over the savings report. You're going to get that for free. We're going to give that away. So you don't have to pay $150 to go over your report if you get a ticket. We're also providing lunch, a 5-star lunch. And if you were at our event in Nashville, Tennessee, when we brought in E.T., the hip hop preacher, as our speaker, you know that the food was no joke. Okay. We believe in providing good food, all right, for the people who participate in this, not rubber chicken, and not, it's a plated lunch, and you're going to have choices, okay? So it's going to be great. So the food is going to be good. So you're going to get my book, which is a $50 value. My book, a savings report, and when we do our consultation, you're going to get all of that and a 5-star plated lunch for $175 at Orlando. So if you want to know more about this, text P.I.L.L. to 256-215-4946 or click on popclive.com, right? That's P.O.P. Somebody put that in the chat for me. P.O.P.C.L.I.V.E.com. P.O.P.C.L.I.V.E. popclive.com. Click on that because the early bird ticket goes away at midnight tonight. No more early bird ticket. All right. So get your information now. And we've been selling tickets already. Don't miss out on this event. All right. And I want to see you live in Orlando. And this is going to be a precursor to we're going to be going across the country teaching people how to become interest cancellation experts. Then you can put ICE after your name. So this is going to be our first one. And we're already starting to plan the second one. And we're going to be going around the country. I'm dedicating my life to helping people to understand this. We are disrupting this industry with our education and with our technology. All right. Do I have any other questions? Okay, I'm ready for questions. Questions and answers, or even comments. Okay. I love comments. Okay. Miss April, it's good to see you here. Do you have another question or a comment? I see you. Okay. She's online with us, folks. All right. And so let me take this off. Take this off the screen. All right.
I got a question for you, Don.
Go right ahead, sir.
Okay, just say I don't have a mortgage, but I don't have a mortgage, but I know somebody that have a mortgage. What would happen if I link them with you?
Okay. So what would happen is, let me pull that up. That's a good question. Okay. You would do well to become an affiliate. All right. You would do well to become an affiliate, and you would go to ice10k.com. All right. Let's bring that back up. Okay. ice10k.com. And then at the bottom of the page, it says here, become an affiliate. All right. Become an affiliate. Let me share that on the screen with you here. Okay. And there we go. All right. So become an affiliate, click on that and fill it out. It is this simple. It takes 15 seconds to become an affiliate. Put your name in, put your phone number in, put an email in, and tell us how you want to get paid, and then submit it. All right. In about a week, you're going to get some additional instructions. It doesn't come out right away. In about a week, you'll get some additional instructions. So here's how this works. If you find somebody who wants to know more about what we do, send them to our TikTok page or Instagram so they can watch some videos. Okay. If they like the longer form videos, they can go to YouTube. But, when people are just trying to learn something, give them the shorter videos. All right. TikTok or Instagram. Follow up with them within 48 hours, no longer than 48 hours. If they want to know more information, here's what you do. Okay, go back to ice10k.com, go back there. So you want to save this in your phone, ice10k.com, scroll down underneath my picture. Okay, and then click on refer a friend. Put their name in, put their phone number in, put their email in, their zip code, and put your name and your phone number in here so it can be coded to you. Right? And then give us any additional information. They watch the videos. They want to know more information. This is my cousin, blah, 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 blah. Whatever information you think is relevant. They've just started their mortgage. They're thinking about getting a refinance. Whatever's going on, give us that information. When they become a client, we will pay you $300. We will pay you $300. Listen. If the body bought a new, if you were a referral, if you did a referral for somebody buying a new car, you don't get $300. Our program doesn't cost anywhere near what a new car costs, but we're going to pay you $300 for getting involved in this. It's not a business for us. Okay, we're passionate about it. Okay, this is a service project for us. We need people to know what's going on. And if you share this, you should get paid too. Now listen to this. This part is only in 1 month. If you do this in 1 month, because it renews every calendar month. But if you send us a second person that becomes a client in the same month, the second one is worth $400. The first one is $3. The second one is $4. The third one is worth $500. Okay. The fourth one is worth got 300, then 400, then 500. Okay. 3, 4, 5, and the fourth one $600. If you're fortunate enough to send us 5 in 1 month, that fifth one is worth $1,200 for a total of $3,000. Anywhere from $300 to $3,000 for helping someone understand what's really going on with these loans. And there's no selling involved, no explaining. Just show them the videos, call them up, see if they want more, and then send them to us. We do the rest. Okay. And you make $300. somewhere between, it depends on how many you send us, between 300 and 3,000. Well, Don, what if we send you more than 5? Everyone after five gets $1,200. Every single one. Every single one, $1,200. So listen, would that mean something to you in your family to have an extra 300, 600, 900, $1,200 a month just for helping other people understand their loans and their refinances about a lot better? So let's do that. Thank you for asking that question. Now, also, if you want to become an affiliate for the Pillars of Prosperity Conference, which is coming up, okay? Pillars of Prosperity, you can go to popclive.com and sign up for that and get a link and send it out to all your social media. We'll email you a link. You can send out to your social media, email it out, do whatever you need to do. And each one that's sold, you make 10%. Each one that's sold with your link, that's 10%. You know, I don't know very many places where you can go on this app and they're giving away opportunities to make money. Okay, we're not charging you for this. You didn't even have to buy a ticket to become to be an affiliate for this program. It would be nice if you did, but you don't have to. All right. Any other questions? Right? Don't forget, Pillars of Prosperity.
Another question for you, Don.
Go ahead.
So, just say if I got more than, do I got?
Okay, the matrix won't let you be great.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can't.
So just say a person got more than one mortgage.
Yeah.
How many times do they have to pay you?
They pay us once for life. Once for life. So you can mortgage after mortgage after mortgage. Okay. And we will be there for you. Our customer service is there for you. Let me see if I can bring that up. Where did that go? Let's see here. I'm going to bring up our program for you. Okay. There it is. Over here on the right hand side, there's a headset. You click that headset and all of our information comes up. That's our support team. Our customer service is open between it's Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 877-676-5638. If you call that number right now, somebody answers it. You don't get a recording. You call that number right now, somebody answers it. Says, listen, is this the pill method number? All right, I'm thinking about doing the pill method. Is it worth it? Will I get help? Okay. So right there. And you just click on that and you get that for a lifetime. We have video training. We've got live chat is available. You can talk with our customer service team over Zoom. Okay. And it's right. It's all there. It's all there. We make it simple. We make it easy. We give you the support you will need. And this is in addition to getting coaching. Client support takes care of simple questions. And when you need more sophisticated questions, you take that to your coach. So you're not left alone. It says, okay, here's a program. You're left alone with it. And now try to figure it out. Not going to happen. You don't have to do that. Here's the last good piece. You can run as many mortgages through here as you want. There is no limit. There's a limit to how many you can have at one time, but no limit total. There's no limit to how many times those mortgages can be paid off and replaced. Okay? We're going to give you a savings and earnings report telling you the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free. The month, day, and year you will be debt free. Okay? Once you understand that these are your numbers and you become our client, that document now becomes a legal document. We now have to guarantee your success, your results for a lifetime. We're the only, listen, I don't care what you've been doing here on this app. All right, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Clubhouse. No one is telling you they're going to guarantee your results. Nobody, not even Los, guarantees your results. I will guarantee your results. Okay, you follow our program, I guarantee you will get the results, or you don't pay us. We do what we say, or you don't pay. Okay, so Don, are you sure about that? Well, let's do something else here. Let me go to our website, which is pillmethod.com. Okay, let's go to our website here, and okay, where's our website? There it is. Okay, let's go to pillmethod.com. Scheduled maintenance. Sorry about that. I forgot we're doing maintenance today. Let me see if I can bypass it. Hold on. Let me see if I can bypass it. Hold on. Bypass it. All right, hold on for just a second. Yep. Schedule maintenance right now. So I can't bypass it right now. But anyway, it'll be up. But let's go to, let me find a way to get to what I wanted to show you. All right. All right. I'm going to somewhere else. I wanted to show you this. And there it is. All right. This is what I wanted to show you. I was just trying to find an easy link for this. This is our Better Business Bureau. Okay. We got our address, you got our phone number, and our rating is A+, Better Business Bureau. All right. And let's see. Here's what else I wanted to show you. I'm looking for where the complaints are. See how many complaints we have in 19 years. I'm trying to find where that is. Overview, accredited. All right, but you can just look for it. They changed the site. I don't go on here all the time. Let's see. Ratings calculated. Let me click on that. Nope, that doesn't take us where we want to go. But I wanted to show you that in 19 years, we've had no complaints. 0 complaints. So been in business 18 years. In April, it will be 19 years. In April, it'll be 19 years we've been in business. And I wanted to show you where the complaints are. I can't find it. But anyway, you look it up, see how many customer complaints we've had. We've had 0 complaints in all that time, but there's not a lot of businesses that can say that, because we do what we say, or you don't pay. And in 19 years, the program has never not worked. Now, there have been people who have not worked the program, I can tell you that, but it's very few. But the program has never not worked in 19 years. So you don't have to worry about getting left out in the dust. You work with us, you're going to get great value. We're going to save way more interest than it costs you for this program, way more. Okay, so stop giving it to the bank. Save about $200,000, and we get a very small portion of that for our services, but you get our services for a lifetime. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
I'm gonna keep on asking them, Don.
Come on, man. I'm ready.
So I got a question. So I'll just say I'm in the program, right? And you give me my plan, and just say, because life be life, and just say I was supposed to make a payment on just say February 6th, and the funds didn't work like will your program reevaluate and set me up for a future date?
Let's take a look at that. Okay. That's a good question. All right, right now, let me see if I have to, let me tell the program, see if I can reset it, because sometimes it'll time out. Let's see, we're going to reset the account. Nope, timed out. Let me pull it back up, and I'll answer that question. Hold on for just a second. We'll log back in to a new demo, and we'll get that. We'll answer that question for you, because our program is the only one that will instantly give you revised information. There we go. Let's bring it up. Okay, there it is. So we're going to reset the account, reset it to here, reset. There we go. All righty. So now, just a quick overview. You're asking about a specific thing, so I'm just going to answer that. So right now, we're telling the program we'd have to click on each one of these to tell the program we got paid. Okay. We paid the mortgage. We would execute that. We paid the utilities. We would execute that. Then the program will give us these little arrows, how much to put in savings, how much to put in savings. And we're starting this one in October, but we can look up here, by 11/16, we should have saved up about $2,569 we don't need for anything else, because the program is doing just math. It says you're paying this, but you're making that. You don't need this $100 for anything else. Let's put it in savings. You don't need this $590 in any, just put it in savings, because all of your bills are in here. Your fund money is in here, and the money that goes to investments are in here. This is money you don't need for any of those things. Okay. So we're paying the bills, and then the program says, oh, on 11/16, pay off the Visa and put $548.05 on the mortgage on 11/16. So let's take a look at John and how John gets paid. Okay. So we're going to go into budget and take a look at John. John is biweekly, but he gets paid what? Commission. So some weeks he gets paid $9.50. Some weeks he gets paid $12.50. And there are other weeks he gets paid no 50. Okay. So let's just say that John was going to get paid here. We're supposed to put money on the debt at 11/16, and we're going to put $2,500 on. Let's just say John, this paycheck, received no sales for this paycheck. Okay. And he received $1. Okay. He received $1 instead of the $9.50. Let's see what happens. Okay. And it moved the payment to December 14th, 2561. You see there? It was supposed to be next month. It was supposed to be this month, but he missed the paycheck, only made $1. But the next month he can still now pay off the Visa and put $556 on the mortgage. Our program is the only one that does that. Very good question. Thank you for that. Any other questions? All right, man. Listen, we've been here a good long time. I'll take as many questions as you got for me. All right. I'm checking for more questions. I'm not seeing any. Okay. And all right, not seeing any more questions. Listen, raise your hand, come up to the stage. This is good info. All right. So if you, I hope I've made the case. I hope I've made the case today that you can let me take this off the screen. I hope I made the case today that you could be making millions of dollars, all right, by not giving money to the bank. If you're a real estate investor, you're leaving millions of dollars on the table. And we also want you to know there's a certain point at which you want to stop prepaying a loan when the interest that you could save becomes too little. Now you want to just make minimum payments on that loan and then take your money and invest it elsewhere, because the amount of interest you could save is too small. So what we're talking about is the law of diminished return. Just by putting some money on something doesn't mean that you should. Paying off a loan fast doesn't mean that you should, because it's all about the benefits. It's all about the benefit. So what is my benefit for prepaying this amount? Or should I take this amount and invest it? Okay. Oh, let me show you. I got a perfect example of that. Let's bring up the program. Okay. Let's bring the program back. Okay. Here's the program. Bringing it back. All right. So, this person got a bonus. All right. So I need you to see here. We're going to change this to interest remaining. Okay. That's how much interest they have left to pay on this loan by working with us. This is how much interest they're going to pay. This is how much interest they're going to save, $179,121. Okay. So anything else that comes in, any more they can do, they can't save this 179,000 again, because they're already saving that. They can only save a portion of the $57,000 they have left. So let's just say John got a bonus. All right. And let's call it $20,000. All right. So he's going to say, well, Don, how do I allocate that? Which loan do I want to put that on? I'm going to say, I don't know if you even need to put that $20,000 on a loan. He says, well, what do you mean? Well, let me show you, because we're going to put it into the program, but we're not going to actually put it in your bank. We're just going to put it in the program and say it's in your bank, and let the program tell us what we should do. All right. So if we take, go into add new action. All right. We're in the 10th month here. So I'm going to go back to October, and we're going to deposit. We're going to do a deposit. We're going to put it in the checking account, and we're going to put in $20,000. Okay. Let's go back to October. All right. Let's say we received that on October 11. Okay. From bonus. All right. So we got from bonus, and we're going to call it income. Okay. There it is. So we're going to save that. Now, I need you to remember, we're supposed to pay $57,096. That's all the interest we have left, but we got a $20,000 bonus. So we're going to save that, and then the program will immediately react to that. So we go from 57,000 down to 45,000. Okay. So that's a 20,000, about a $20,000 savings. Okay. If that is good for you, that's going to be great. So we got to say, well, do I want to do that? Or do I want to take that money? All right. And instead of 7.7 years, we're going to take a look at this now. We're going to go to years to pay off. We were at 7.7, but it only dropped to 6.9. Okay. 7.7 to 6.9, about a year. We took a year off. I can take that 20 grand, because now the program is telling us, now that it's looking at that, okay, we got 20 grand in here. It's telling us to put 18,000 on the mortgage. You see how that works? So now we have some decisions to make. Do we want to take a year off the loan? do we want to take that $20,000 and put it into an investment? Or do we want to take that Mediterranean cruise for a month that we've been drooling over? Okay. So now, but you can actually know what to do with that money once you get that bonus. Because if it's going to save us that much money, if we can get out of debt a year early, or do we want to live life a little more? Okay. And go ahead and get out of debt in 7.7 years instead of 6 years. You have some decisions you can make based on the numbers even before you spend the money. This is a program that can help you to do all of that. Okay. So any other questions about anything before I get out of here? We've got about 10 more minutes before I'm gone. Jonathan, are you going to be taking over? All right. He'll probably come back in a little later. Come on, Ken. What do you got for me?
Got another question.
Yes,
now,
sir.
You telling all this good stuff about these people that got a mortgage. Should I contact you before I buy a house or after?
Oh, well, if
hold on before you explain, I'm gonna give a little, because a lot of people, when they go in and they get their approvals and they know what the down payment is. A lot of us want to put a little extra on the down payment to try to buy down the rate.
Right.
What's your thoughts?
No, you don't want to. You definitely don't want to buy down the rate. Okay. If you can afford the payment, you want to take you definitely want the higher interest rate. Let's go ahead and put in, let me find my 400. There it is. $400,000 mortgage at 7%. Okay. Let's say I can buy down the rate for, $17,000. I can buy it down to 5. I can buy it down to 5. All right. Now, let me put this back here. So wait a second. I want to keep that. This one I want to keep, and we're going to duplicate the tab instead. Okay. I can buy it down to 5. It's going to cost me $17,000. And I'm going to get a new payment. I want to show you how crazy this is. Okay. You want to call me before you get that mortgage, before you do all of this, so we can help you. Okay. Watch this. So we got $400,000 here, and it cost us $17,000 to get down to 5%. It costs us $17,000 to get down to there. So what are we doing here? My payment is $26.61. Okay. And 21 cents. I gave him $17,000 so I can buy it down to this payment, $21.47 and 29 cents. Okay. $21.47. Let's look at the total amount of interest over 30 years. Now, you tell me, I want anybody to tell me, why would a bank do this? Okay. Cost $17,000 for, I've got a 7% interest. Okay. 7% interest. And the bank can possibly make off of me. They don't know I know anything about the P.I.L.L. method, because most of their clients do not. $558,000. Okay. That's what the investor wants. $558,035. Okay. Oh, let's not forget the 60 cents, because they'll come after you for that 60 cents. Believe me. All right. So now we're going to take a look at buying the rate down for $17,000 to 5%. How much interest does the investor want to get? Now it is $373,373,024.40. Okay. Now, here's what I need you to see. For $17,000, the bank just made this loan less attractive. Okay. Made it less attractive. And they're going to sell fewer of these because of that when they could have gotten something else. All right. So we've got $558,035.60. Okay. Now, because we paid 17 grand, our overall interest cost on this is now 373,000. $24 and 48 cents, I believe. Okay. That's $185,000 difference. That's if you keep the loan for 30 years. Why would a bank ever make their loan less expensive? That means they won't make as much money on it if they sell it to the investor. Why would they ever lose out on $185,000 and only charge you $17,000 for it? I'm going to show you why in just a minute. Watch this. Keep this in mind for the last question of the day. Keep this in mind. Control the principal payment, you control the loan. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. Okay? So if I have a 7% loan, my principal payment, let me get rid of this. The principal payment on this loan is $327.88. If I want to prepay my next month's principal payment, I can come up with $329.79. I kill this interest and I kill one line off my amortization schedule with an extra $329. When I lower the interest rate, that $329, watch this. Look at my principal payments now. $482 I got to come up with now to eliminate one loan. At 7%, look at cumulative principal. I can prepay $4,063 to get rid of 1 year. $4,063 to get rid of 1 year. All right. At 5%, now I got to come up with $5,900 to get rid of 1 year. That $4,063 at 5%, 4,000, well, it's right around in here. It's between 8 and 9 payments. By buying down the rate, I just made the thing more difficult for me to pay off. By prepaying, my dollars don't work as hard for me at 5% as they do at 7%. That's why I like the 7%. If I can afford it, I will be able to prepay and save more money in interest because my dollars are going to work harder for me than if I take my money to buy down the rate. Besides, why would I do that when I can take my regular payment here? And if I was going to pay another $17,000, why don't I just take my $400,000 at 7% and take my $17,000 and prepay it to this loan? Let's go down to $17,000. Okay, there's 4,000, there's 8,000, there's 13,000, and 17,000. Listen, that takes off almost 4 years and saves me $105,000 in interest right now. Oh, please, give me the higher interest rate, please, so I can kill this loan and kill that interest, because that is the benefit of understanding how to read an amortization schedule, getting coached on it, having technology that is designed to beat the bank at their own game. We give you the technology, we give you the advice, we give you the coaching so that you can now not only do this for yourself, but start preparing a legacy for your family and start teaching your family the P.I.L.L. method way, so that now you can start having generations know how they can get the 40 acres and a mule that we didn't get we can now turn this into generational wealth because we know how to borrow money at a discount and leverage that money to the hilt. That's the benefit of the P.I.L.L method. So don't forget, all right, get your savings and earnings report. Go to ice10k.com, get your savings report. Today is the last day that you can get your early bird ticket. All right, up to midnight, get your early bird ticket for the P.I.L.Lars of Prosperity Conference in Orlando. We're just a few blocks down from where our hotel is, just a few blocks down from Disney. So bring the whole family. All right, make a weekend out of it because it only costs $175 to get in. And if you miss that, don't worry about it. I mean, yeah, I mean, $25 is $25, right? So get your, as of tomorrow, the tickets go to $200, but you still get 4 speakers. You still get a preview to my $4,600 course. You still get you still get to have a consultation with me that's worth $150. You still get that. And you still get my book, which is a $50 value. You still get all of that for either $175 or $200, however you choose to pay. Go to popclive.com, POPCLIVE.com, and get your tickets. Also, sign up to become an affiliate. Well, folks, that's going to be it for me today. I'm glad.
We got one more question.
We do? What is it?
You speaking of wealth and making money, and you know we got a couple people that took the P.I.L.L in here.
Yeah.
How can we benefit with our clients? Would it be like the referral fee?
Listen, oh mercy! If you want, all right. Not only if you are a business purpose lender, okay, you can bring the P.I.L.L method into this early. Because if somebody's coming to you and you give them a great deal on a loan, all right, they got their loan, everything's in place, and you can tell them, how would you like to save additional interest, all right, and gain equity at 5 to 7 times the regular rate, cash out refi 10 to 15 years sooner, or pay the loan off in about 5 to 7 years. How would you like to be able to do that? You bring us in, all right. And we're collaborating. It's not just a referral fee. Okay. That now we're collaborating. We're working together on this thing. All right. You're putting in time. We're putting in time, and you can start making commissions instead of referral fee. I mean, you can, if you bring us in early to that, now you're making over $1,000 instead of $300. Okay. So listen, folks, make this part of what you're doing as a business purpose loan officer, okay? And tell your clients, if you work with me, you can pay this loan off in just a few years, or you can cash out refi 10 to 15 years sooner by incorporating the P.I.L.L method with this thing. I'm telling you, they will want to work with you because the things that they were getting ready to do, you'll be able to learn and teach them. Don't do that. It's going to cost you too much money to do what the experts have been telling you should be doing for years. Don't do that anymore. Do this instead. They're going to love you because you're going to be able to share with them information that they're not getting anywhere else, because out of all the loan officers, there are only a few that know the P.I.L.L method, and they're teaching it to their clients, and it's making a big difference. Ken, what do you say? All right, folks, it's 4 minutes after the hour. I got to get out of here. We got to get to work. We got other clients to see, but if you want to talk later, call the number at 256-886-1867. I'll repeat it, 256-886-1867. And when things slow, just leave a message. Just tell them, yeah, I have a couple of questions for Don, and leave a message, and I'll call you back as soon as I can fit it in, okay? Because when I do a show like this, the phone just kind of rings off the hook. So I'll get to you as soon as I can. Remember, call 256-886-1867. You can ask questions about the savings report. You can ask questions about your loans. You can ask questions about Pillars of Prosperity. You can ask questions about the book. There are a lot. We're offering a lot here to you in the time that we've been here for the last 3 hours. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. And we're getting ready to get out of here. I don't see any more questions. All right. Appreciate everybody here. Oh, dang it. I almost forgot because I do this a lot and I need to stop doing that. All right. Let me take this off because this is important. All right. This is important. I got one last thing to share with you. One last thing. Go to ice10k.com. Okay. Okay. Go to ice10k.com. Scroll down.
Can you say that number again, please?
The phone number?
Yes, please.
It is 256 886 1867.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it.
All right. All right. So here we go. This is all of our social media. Follow us on social media. And I'd appreciate it very much once you see a video, share it with your folks on your social media. All right. Here's our social media. Sign up for our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitter, our LinkedIn, our Instagram, our TikTok. And not just like the videos, like them, but share them as well. That improves us in that gives us in the algorithm that helps us to get more information out to the people if you share it as well as like it. All right. And don't forget, when you go to our YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We already have over 60,000 on our Instagram, but our YouTube, we want it to come up as well. So we're less than 10,000, but we're knocking on the door. So help us to get to 10,000 on our YouTube and help us by sharing these videos. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll be back. Let me see. Let me see. I got to take a look at the calendar so I'm not telling a fib here. Hold on for a second. I'll take a look at the calendar to see where we're going to be next week. Okay. Next week is Christmas. We will not be on. Okay. There's no show. I'll have a replay on YouTube, but I will not be live next week because it's Christmas Day. All right. But we will be back. We're going to miss the first. So for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be off. All right. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to be off. I'll let Jonathan know, but we'll be back on the 8th. Okay. Because we're going to be out of town.
So Don,
yeah,
this is just a joking question, but it could be serious.
Yeah.
So what you saying is all of us that maxed out our credit cards for this holiday season come back and holler at you after the first of the year?
Yeah. Yeah. You listen. I got somebody who just came to us with like, I don't know, 10, 15 credit cards, and they're still going to be out of debt in under 5 years. Yeah. You'd be surprised that the more debt we see, the bigger smile we get. Okay. Because we know what we can do with that. So the average family has 13 different debts. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about any of it. And somebody mentioned earlier that they are kind of embarrassed. Please don't be. Bring everything to us and we'll show you what you can do with it with your current budget. You'll be surprised at how well you could do in saving interest. Besides, it costs you nothing to find out. Get the savings and earnings report for free. All right, everybody? All right. Well, listen, thank you so very much for being here. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, back on the 8th. I've got to take a little vacation, but I'll be back on the 8th, and we'll be right back at it. And we'll be counting down to Pillars of Prosperity at the end of the month. All right, the 31st of January. Let's see you in Orlando. Okay, we'll see you, folks.